Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to go over some of the calls I'll be using and have used in the past and kind of give you some insight on how I approach my mouth calls. This type of call is not for everybody. I'm barely good enough to make them work, but over the years I've been able to pick up on a few things with them, and I can get away with it to a point. So I'm not a very dedicated caller. I don't sit there and practice throughout the whole year. I just pick them up before season and kind of practice with them. But one of the things that I do is I label my holders for them, so I know exactly which ones are doing what. In the past, I've just kind of bought them, thrown them in my pack, and taken off, and that sometimes presents challenges, because once you get them out, then you're like, hey, I can't remember what this one sounded like. Now you can probably look at the cuts and figure out what they're actually going to do for you, or it's going to be feel for each individual as far as fitting in their mouth, what they're able to produce with the air that they have in their lungs. So lung capacity is a big part of this. I don't have a huge lung capacity. So it's really hard for me to get a lot of those sharp clucks and perts and all that stuff. But like I said, I think the majority of the time, just a yelp and easy clucks and stuff like that will do probably 80 to 90% of your calling and get those turkeys to at least come in and investigate. So if you're able to work them after that, then that's half the battle, if not more. I label my carriers. So this one here says high rasp cutter. So that's telling me that this one's hard to blow, for one, and that it's going to be a real heavy, raspy, in-your-face call. So let's see what this one sounds like. So yeah, there you go. That's a really heavy rasp. You can do some cutting on that. The little bit of cutting that I can do, that's what that one's going to be for. We go down the next one. This is a raspy old cutter. Now this is going to be, I've got a G on this, so this means that this is fairly easy for me to blow. Let's see what this one sounds like compared to that other one. So you can see there, that's a really high rasp. That's just an old hen that's got a high rasp to her. This one here is labeled young, loud young hen. So this is telling me that this is going to be a really loud call. You're not going to get real soft hen calls with this. You're going to be locating probably with this. And it's a young hen. So that's telling me that it's probably a double reed, and that you're just going to get that monotone sound. You're not going to get any rasp. It's just going to be whoop, 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 whoop. That kind of sounds funny. But anyway, let me show you what this one sounds like. So that's just kind of that locator, wanting to find other turkeys. Real loud, just that monotone hen. Kind of a young hen. It could be a Jake too. Let's switch over here to this one. Now this is a young soft hen I've got written on this one. So Let's see how this one reacts. See what it sounds like. So this is going to be one that I work when they're in close, or when they're getting closer. I don't want to blow them out of there. And it may be one that I just start with in the morning, or when I just get into my setup, because I don't want to blow out everything in that area if I can't see them. This would probably be one that I would grab. So that sounds really good. There again, young hens, you're going to have that real monotoned call. It's going to be really close quarters kind of call. Next one we'll go to is a young soft hen. Here again, we got a young soft hen, and it's just going to have a little bit different sound. So you can get real personal with those soft hens. This one here is raspy hard cutter. And I put hard on there because this one's hard to blow. It's probably a 4 reed. It's just a mega cutting fool. And I cannot get this thing to do anything besides just yelp. That's all this thing will do for me. So let's see what we can do with this. For me, that's going to be a locator. It's just a really hard one to call with. It's just really dense, thick, something that I use to locate in a windy day or something like that. So, raspy young hen. So this is a raspy young hen. It's got a higher tone, higher pitch to it, but it's got rasp to it instead of the monotone that you hear in those younger birds. You can hear that high tone, but it's raspy. So there you go. Just really helps to label these boxes so you know exactly what these things are doing and which one that you need to grab. Now obviously you don't need this many calls, okay? But I just work with mouth calls. So I will take, if it's going to be windy that day, I may take one soft and a couple of louds, raspy ones to get cutting through that wind. If it's going to be a nice calm day and I'm going into a wooded area that you can't see more than 40, 50 yards in front of you, I may want to take my softer ones so I'm not blowing things out of there. It's just going to be personal preference, but it's nice to have everything labeled out so you can tell exactly what you're going to be using. Now here you can see I've got 3 sitting here by themselves, still in the package. Reason for that is I've doubled up when I went and bought some today. I've doubled up on a couple of these, so I'll just save these for next year. One of the things that I'll tell you is these aren't going to last forever. I do have 3 from last year, 3 or 4 from last year still, and the latex is still pretty good on them. So I will go ahead and continue to use those. But a lot of guys will just use them 1 year or maybe 2 at the max, and then pitch them. But these are pretty expensive calls, so you want to try to get as much out of them as you possibly can. Some of these calls were 14, 15 bucks. Some of them were 11, 12 bucks. But you know, if you buy multiple ones of these different cuts and everything, you can rack up a pretty good bill with these calls. So anyway, it's just nice to have some extras here in case you drop one, lose one tears on you, or whatever the case may be, dries out. These will dry out over time. The more you can keep them clean, wash them out after you use them. Don't be like me out there chewing and then trying to blow through your call. You want to make sure that your mouth is as cleaned out as possible, so you're not blowing stuff in between those reeds and stuff and getting a bunch of crap in there. And then you can just clean them after you're done with warm water, and just take that latex and just kind of clean it out, run some water in there. You know, you don't want to blast it with water because you could stretch those latexes out. Run it through warm water, just kind of clean it off, rinse it off, and then set it to the side to kind of dry out, and then you can put it back in your case and you're good to go. Yeah, like I said, I'm not one to be telling you how to call. I can do the yelps, and I can do some cuts, and I can do some easy kikis, not kiki runs or any of that stuff. But over the years, what I've done with these calls, it's more to me about sound and what they want presented to them, what they're looking for. Are they looking for a old hen, or are they looking for a young hen? Or, you know, you can use some of those younger hens to sound like jakes. So, you know, the more that you have in your arsenal, the better off you're going to be. When you're out there fishing, you try different lures, and they're going to react to those different lures. It's no different than in the turkey woods with your calls. So that's just one of the reasons that I really like the versatility of these mouth calls. Your hands free with them. You can use your gun, your bow, things like that. Obviously, you can get away with a lot more without having a slate call in your hand or whatever it may be. But I've just really come to appreciate these mouth calls, and that's all I'll ever run pretty much. I don't have a big turkey vest with 1,600 calls in it. I've just got my plethora of mouth calls here that stow away in one pocket pretty easily, and I can go through and pick and choose what sounds I want. So anyway, thanks for watching Publix Eye Outdoors. Hopefully this will help you this season, get some of them turkeys to kind of come in and commit. Have fun out there this year turkey hunting, and stay safe in your hunts, and we will see you on the next video.